Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just going to set myself up for a hot minute. Make sure I am actually live and not just chittering away to myself. And see if I can bring up all your beautiful, beautiful comments. Here we go. Alrighty. All right, I can see that I am live. I'll just give it a few hot seconds so people can join us in. And I just want to make sure I can actually see your comments because that doesn't seem to be working for me right at this minute. Mm-mm. Ah, there we go. I can see you. Hello, Michelle. Hi, Martine. Welcome, welcome. Hasn't it been a fabulous weekend already? And it's only Saturday afternoon, right? So, just a reminder, if you haven't already, please join the Natalie May Scrapbooking Creative Community. It is a group on Facebook where we share all of our beautiful creations, support each other, get inspiration. It's a fabulous community to be a part of. Has everyone been enjoying the sales? My goodness. Nat is normally very generous with her sales, but going for a 4-day extended weekend. And I don't know, something about NMX just seems sexy to me, right? The Natalie May Extravaganza. And I'm so excited to be a part of it. So these are our weekend specials. Some fabulous, fabulous deals going on. We've got 15% off all patterned paper. That's massive. That is a huge, huge range right there. 15% off All and Create. All and Create stamps are some of my favorite stamps to use, and some really good deals on some really cute little people and characters. We have 15% off Minte and 3/4 designs, probably mostly for all our scrapbooking lovers out there, but I do use some of their stuff in my journals too. Everything is versatile, everything. We have 15% off 49 in Market and Simple Stories. Again, I use actually quite a bit of 49 in Market in my journals. Um, and obviously for you lovely scrapbookers out there, 15% off one of my favorite brands. Well, two of actually. I love Paper Rose. I love Uniquely Creative. Uniquely Creative recently, was releasing the accordion books and the little folio, craft folios. They were really great. So 15% off them today if you're interested. Massive mega clearance. Has everyone been into the clearance section? Oh my goodness, so many goodies, some of them up to 40%. And then, of course, it's hard to buy for Christmas this time of year, but if you're a planner, get your Christmas gear on now because it is 30% off. Some other exciting things for the weekend. So I'm going to be looking at our 15% off patterned paper today. So I'm going to use some of these pattern papers. I'm going to make a little journal page today just to show you some things that can be done with them. And please, please, please don't forget that Nat has put in the no judgment shipping from Thursday to Sunday. So this is her postal speak properly, postal special. So you only just pay for one lot of delivery of $11.95. When you place your first order, you pay for your shipping, and then you'll receive a secret code in your confirmation email. If you didn't read your email, the code will be in there. If you're having any issues, just reach out on the Facebook page and the team will help you out. There is a weight limit on this, so just letting you know, you can't, I think if it goes over 1.5 kilos, you might have to pay a little bit more. But really, paper doesn't weigh much. And if you're ordering over 1.5 kilos of supplies, lucky for you. And I'm a little bit jealous, to be honest. And it's going to be worth the extra shipping. So I'm just going to have a quick refresh because I'm not actually sure if I'm seeing you all properly. My iPad's been a bit silly today. Yeah, there we go. See, I've been missing comments. Hello. Hi, Susan, Sharon, Gay, Vicky. Hello. Awesome, awesome. So we've got some of beautiful Art by Marlene's pattern papers today that I'm going to have a play with. I'm going to be using my little handy size art journal to create in today. Pull out a blank piece of paper. And I thought to go with this little thing, I'm also going to use an Art by Marlene stamp. So this one is called doggy diva. And for those who are a little bit familiar with me, I love my doggies. I'm a little bit dog mad, so this is the perfect little stamp for me today. For those who have never bought a paper pad like this before, they're really great quality paper. They're actually quite thick, so they're 170 GSM, and they are acid free. So using them in your scrapbooking and with your photos is absolutely fine. And they're double sided, so you're getting two designs of each design, and they are absolutely double sided. So they're very, very versatile in what you can do. I have been in a little bit of a black and white creation phase of late. So I think I'm going to use this one. Oh, newbie here. Hello, Lisa. Welcome. We love newbies. We love inspiring you. We love bringing out your courageousness. Please join the Creative Community Facebook page then for Natalie May, and show us and help, and we can help out and support you. And very excited to have you here. Welcome. Hi, Sharon. I will apologise. My comments do seem to be playing up a little bit. I'm going to see if my darling husband can come and lend a hand to see if he can't fix the problem for me. But in the meantime, so I've been in a black and white phase. Oh, I like this one. I like that eye. So oh, look, see, I've already used half of it. See, I know I like that one. When Art by Maylene dropped her new release and I saw the black and white paper pad, I was like, yes, that is going to be my first go-to. And what I want to do, because I have done a lot of black and white recently, is I do want to pair it with some colour. So this pad is excellent because it's this one's actually only single side, but it is, single color pages with the same designs. So if I can find the eye, if I go too far, no, here it is. Oh, and look at that color, it's purple. So I'm not sure if you can see properly, but it's the same pattern, but this is the black and white, and this is a colored version. Let's pair these two together, I think. So we've got the nice synergy going on the page. Just pop them to the side. All right, my darling husband is still working on those comments, team, so I apologise. I can't actually see what anyone's saying for the moment. So I'm just starting with the blank page, and because I'm putting paper down, I'm not pre-gessoing. This is going to be more of a paper style page to start with. I'll use this paper as a background and then I'll start layering it up. So I'm going to start with some gel medium. Oh, look, he's fixed the problem. Isn't he clever? Thank you, Matt. Hi, Mona. Welcome. Oh, I'll just put it back where I can actually see you. That's my husband saying testing there. Brilliant. So I'm just using some gel medium to stick my collage paper down. And if you caught Naomi's live last night, I also just use a cheap brush with any of my glues or my gel mediums because you can wash them really, really well, but they still sometimes just don't. They kind of never go on paint the same way again, I suppose, is what I'm saying. So I bought these. They're kind of cute. They're like a rainbow unicorn horn handle. My daughter really loved them. So I think they were like $4 for a set from, where are we going to go? From Kmart. So I said, I use the cheapie. And after I said I love that eye, I don't think I'm actually going to go the eye this time. Not too much purple. So I'm going to tear out my page because we are doing a bit more of a collage style today. I'm not too particular when I tear it. I kind of just go with flow, see what it does for me, see what it creates. So when you've got overhang after sticking it down, I just leave it. It's one of the advantages of Marlene's journals because they do have the ring binders and you can pull the page out. So you can be a little bit more rough, I suppose, in your art, and you don't have to be as precise as when you're working in another style journal. Now, I do love the art, so I think didn't plan that out real well, did I? I should have kept a bit more links to it, but that's okay because crafting, especially mixed media crafting, art journaling, all about, for me anyway, is all about the feeling in the moment, right? What am I feeling? And for me, it's the process, how we get to where we're going, and the end result is always very exciting. think I want a little bit more. Might come in. If a bit more on this. Underneath. Oh, see, she's already stuck down a bit. Excellent. So, how is everybody enjoying the weekend? Nat has done, oh, she's done some beautiful journal pages this weekend. I think the one that she scrap lifted um, with the Radelaide girl and the beautiful flowing hair, that was probably my favorite. But that scrapbooking page too, with the die cards, that was just divine as well. Oh, I'll just get that under there a bit. So Naomi is always telling me that I use too much gel medium, but and I watch Nat and they put like a tiny little line of paint on, but I suppose I don't know, maybe I'm less trusting of the products. The products are great, but I like a slightly thicker layer. It's probably why I go through so much, especially by Marlene's sticky glue. I go through quite a bit of that. All right, so you can see the page is building up now. Obviously, I'm going to trim those off, but I will just wait until that dries a little bit more before we do that. Now, I wasn't entirely sure. I don't think I'm going to completely fill the page. And now I've ripped up some scraps. I've got a little container that I keep all my scraps in, and they'll go on other products, tags, ATCs, other journal pages. Excuse me. And that's what's really great about paper pads, because a little bit really does go a long way. And if you're doing a tag book, you can use, one entire page to go through your entire tag book for that synergy and consistency. Okay, I'm going to pop that one aside to dry, and let's get out a fan. Just going to clean that a little bit here. All righty. So, oh, this set is fabulous. I haven't actually used it yet, so I'm a little bit excited. Look at these beautiful rubber stamps. I love the way Marlene colours her stamps. I'm not going to do as good a job as that. And I'm not sure whether she used paint there. Actually, it looks like she might have even used her acrylic duo markers, which is pretty clever. So I think the piece of paper I got out, not big enough. Let's find another one. Let's find a bigger piece. That's a lot better. Okay, so I'm not going to stamp this lady, this beautiful doggy diva, is going to be my focal piece, but I'm not going to stamp her directly on my page because I want to color her to stand out from the page. If I was using her in as a bit of a background design, I would absolutely go straight onto the page. But because I want her to be the focus piece, we're going to stamp her on a separate page. We're going to color her, and I think I'm also going to use this cute little doggy and then we'll stick her on afterwards, and I'm going to show you that process. So this tool that I'm using here, it's this one's the Couture Creations brand. It's actually called a stamp press. So when I'm stamping for mark making purposes, I sometimes use a smaller acrylic block like this, and I will place my stamp on it and just, go nuts on the page. Sometimes when I'm stamping on a cardstock, I will use an acrylic block. For a tiny little stamp like this, I probably would. But when I've got a larger stamp, I tend to go for the stamp press, because if I don't get the stamp perfect the first time around, I can re-ink it and re-stamp it without it getting the double lines. The other reason these is a really good tool to use is if you've got any kind of bone or hands or wrist problems, you don't have to put as much pressure on this one, and it's a little bit easier to do as well. So especially in Canberra winter, I like to use this because, my hands are cold and I don't want to have to put too much pressure on them. The ink I'm going with today, ladies and gentlemen, is Ranger's Archival ink. It is a permanent ink, and that's really good because I'm going to be adding some colour to her. And when I add that colour, I don't want it to run. Hello, Marianne. Hello, Emily. Oh, you do the same, Michelle. Yeah, absolutely. It's just these little tricks, right, that you don't know when you first start. The other thing that you can do, Nat sells these fantastic, I can't remember what she calls them now though. Somebody might be able to help me in the chat. It's just another way to add some pressure. So I'm just going to move that in circles around. And you can see my stampy staying very still to make sure I get a nice clean stamp. And we lift it up and there we go. Now see, I've missed the middle bit there. And you can see, I'm not sure if you can see well, the ink is still in the middle of her dress there. So I'm going to close it again. It's going to stamp in the exact same spot. And I'm just going to put a bit more pressure in that bit and see if that worked. Yeah, kind of. So what I might do is just re-ink that space, because it could just be I didn't get enough ink there. And we'll go for a third time. And we're still not going to get those double lines is the idea. The other really great thing about still not getting her hand, that's okay, because I am going to paint her. I can come in with a pen. The other great thing about this tool as well is you can do more than one stamp at a time. So let's put our little doggy up here. We'll ink him up. But if you want to do, if you've got like 6 or it depends on the size, but more than one stamp, you want to stamp all at once, you can stick them all on this side, close it up, and stamp away. Just going to give that really good push. Yeah, little doggy. Ah, there we go. Got a hand that time. So sometimes it does take a little bit of pressure. Excellent. These magnets hold the paper in place, so your paper goes nowhere that you do not want it to go. Pull them back off. Oh, look at him. Isn't he just the cutest little, most handsome gentleman ever with his little bow tie? Oh, wishes. A stamp press. Thank you, Emily. Yes, it is. They're really great. I use this one often. That's why it's right here in my reach. Just takes the pressure off, having to do it with your own hands and fingers. So I'm going to put my stamps to the side. I now want to give her some colour. You don't have to if you don't want to. I've done a lot of journal pages where I've stamped a focal image woman and I haven't added colour to it. It just depends on A, what you feel, and B, what you want it to look like. Just going to move the paper out of the way. So there's lots of different ways you can add colour to a stamped image. You can use watercolours, which is how I started. You can use pencils, textures, the Art by Marlene Duo markers. You can use the wonderful Tombow markers that are brand new. And I've actually just bought 2 colours of the Tombow markers. Try them out. Has anyone used them that's in the chat? Oh, Michelle, it's the handheld felt knob. Thank you, Michelle. She's going to be my link ninja by the looks of it. Thank you, darling. Yeah, has anyone used the Tombow markers that can sort of tell me how they're going with them? I'm very excited to use them because currently my favourite way to colour any kind of stamp or image or collage paper is the Dina Wakley Scribble Sticks. Catching up on comments. So these are a really versatile product as well. What kind of colour am I going to go? It was a light purple, wasn't it? I think we might go the lighter colours today. These are really great. So these are water-soluble pigment sticks. There's actually 3 or 4 different sets. There's the essentials set that has sort of like the blacks and the whites and the browns and whatnot. I have got the lighter colours, the darker colours, and then I've got the neon scribbles. You can use these ones in a multiple of different ways. And I've just put that down in water. Clever, Tegan. Move that over there. So you can use them to draw directly onto the page. And they're water reactive. So if I do a scribble here and then get a water brush is a container attached to a paintbrush nib that squirts water. So when I squeeze it, I don't know if you can see the waters come out on my hand. So when I apply water, see how the colours moving around? So you can do it like that. The other thing I've seen other people do is take the tip, dunk it straight into some clean water, and then go on the page and see how it's got that watercolory kind of look. But when I'm doing stamps or colouring in any sort of image, I pop a bit of water on my messy mat next to me, and I use the top as like my palette basically. So I get my color off the tip, I test it to make sure it's the kind of shade that I want. If it's too dark, I'll just go back for some more water to lighten it up. And if it's too light, I go back here to darken it back up. So I really love that you can layer the colors from these. So I think I'm feeling pretty in pink today. So let's give her a bit of color. And I went straight for the chest. That's interesting. Out here. So it's kind of like combining. Does anyone do adult coloring? This is kind of the next step up for me. I did used to do a lot of adult coloring with pencils, but I get very frustrated with pencils. I suppose I've only ever bought cheap pencils. So if I bought like really expensive ones, I probably wouldn't have the same issues, but they don't bring out the colors the way I want. They don't layer, they don't, for me, maybe I'm just not using them properly. You've probably got some awesome colorists in the chat room. They're going to go, you're just using it wrong. And that's okay. All right. Look at this. She's wearing like this sort of sheer skirty bit. So I think I do want to lighten up on the colour now. There we go. It almost looks like it's made of a see-through material. So hopefully I can give that same effect. Is anybody crafting along with me today? And did anyone catch Sandy's first live? Didn't she do a great job? Now, just a little bit darker on these lines, just to pop a bit of interest in. So you can see how the colour is actually layering upon itself. It's the same colour. I have not changed scribble sticks, but I've basically got at least 3 different shades going on to play with to give my image definition, to give it shadows, and to give it some interest. The great thing about it is that it is water soluble. If I didn't really like something, if I'm quick enough with, if I go too dark on an area, a little bit like watercolors, if you're quick enough with a paper towel, you can just dull it down that way. I'm pretty happy with that. Look at that, I've missed the knickers though. So I think we'll go a bit darker for the knickers. Or do I want to do a different colour? No, I think I'll stick with the same colour. She's got a tattoo on her arm. I've only just noticed that. How awesome is that? She's absolutely pretty in pink, this one. So I'm just going to kind of let the pigment do what it wants in this part, because I think I'm going to come back over with maybe a purple just to give a bit of definition in some other areas once that bit really, really dries. All right, and so now you can see I've got the pink on top of my water tip pen. All I'm going to do is, I don't know if you can see my messy mat. No, you can't. That's a bit silly. I'm just going to squeeze some water out on my messy mat and clean the brush in it, or you can put it in your normal paint pot, water pot as well. So you can still see some of the pigment, but it's not coming off anymore. So squirt a bit of water. Oh, and it's still a little bit pink. Right. Oh, what colour hair do we want to give her? Sandy did do a fantastic job, didn't she, guys? I'm so glad you all joined her. She was so good, yeah. Oh, Lynn's just made a large batch of green tomato relish. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, Sandy. No, that's okay. You're watching the replay of Naomi's gnome. Oh, how good was that? It was quite a grungy page for Naomi. She doesn't normally go that grungy. I was very impressed. But it did look very good, didn't it? All right. Get rid of my paintbrush. Sandy was good. I loved Sandy's little ATC. Michelle's been making her own stencils. Oh, you've got one of those. I always thought it was called a cry cut, but I think everyone calls them crickets. Is that right? I don't know now. All right, I am going to come over here because I want to do some skin. So, oh, you always know it's time to get my nails redone when I can't craft properly. I need a refill. Right. So before I ever do skin, I always do a swatch. You should really swatch anyway with a system like this, just to make sure you're getting the color you actually want. Because you can also similar-ish to watercolors, you can combine them. I don't think it works as well as it does with watercolors, but this is usually blushing is usually my go-to for skin color. And the reason I normally do Caucasian skin is because whenever I've attempted to do darker skin, I have absolutely not done it justice, and I just made a horrible hot mess of it. So need to do some learning there. I actually bought Crayola bought out great pencil set. They were skin tones and they went all through all human skin tones, but even then I still, couldn't layer it properly. Practice is all it takes, everyone. Practice, practice, practice. Okay, see, she's got pink splotchy legs just like me. Thick splotchy legs at that. Lovely. So instead of trying to work over the top of her, I'm going to turn my page. Because I don't want to muck up. She's got tattoos on her arms too and her chest. I love this woman. I don't want to accidentally put my hand in paint and move it all around. So I'll move my page around instead. I'm not worrying too much about keeping the lines on these edges because we are going to cut her out. Yeah, they're good, right? Get more onto this side. Deal. Oh, I wonder how I'm going to colour that tattoo, or maybe I'll leave it as a black and white. All of my tattoos are black and white on myself. Do I have any other tattoo people join with me today? Better upside down, upside down, upside down. Face bodice. It's maybe a little bit darker than I wanted, so we'll just add some water and move it around a bit, lighten it up. I don't want to make it look like she's been out with too much sun. Or maybe she has by walking that beautiful little doggy. Lovely, lovely. Yeah. I'm just going over the lips because I'll come in the colour then over the top once this part is dry. Excellent. Oh, she's coming along. Any suggestions for what colour I should do her boots? Here's my colour options. What do you think? Excuse me. Love Scribble Six. Yeah, they're so good. I actually use them quite a bit. Mine actually look in better condition than some other people's, because I leave them in the tin. I think it's the difference. I've seen a few crafters pull out their Scribble Sticks. I'm like, oh my goodness, but that's half the fun, isn't it? I mean, look at my mat. Like I'm one to talk. All right. Any suggestions? I'll give it a second in the chat. I think while you're all thinking about what colour her boots should be, let's work on her hair. Oh, I'm getting a purple vibe. She looks like she would have awesomely dyed crazy hair colours, which I'm not brave enough to do. I would love to go and dye my hair purple or bright green or bright blue, but I'm not brave enough. I know, it's only hair. It'll come out, grow back, all that. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to go in with a lighter shade first, and then I will darken it up to highlight some of these beautiful curls she's got going on. Curly, curly. Ringlet curls. Oh, I've just driven over her glasses, but that's okay. Bit of a fringe. Oh, very nice. Actually, we can also always, whenever you've got sets like this, you can use the image they come with as a guide. Oh, she's given her red hair. Red hair works too. You can always use that as a guide if you're new and unsure about how you might want to do things. So while I'm waiting for that lighter purple to dry, I am just going to come back in over the dress here and just going to give a slight purple highlight to some of it because it is such a similar color. It's just going to bring the image together up and down. A bit more water. It's okay. So there's going to be like a bit of a flow color going on. And you can see how it's layering really nicely above the pink that was already there. Getting to the bosom. Get some highlighted shapes. She has a nice shaped bosom, this lady. All right. I'm happy with that. That looks really good. I just don't want to go purple with the boots. What have we got? Brown boots. That's a good idea. I just got purple streak put in your hair. Oh, Sandy. See, braver than me. Carolyn, your hair had been all those colours. I'm gonna do it. I've got to do it. Maybe I should do it before the retreat, hey? But I can just rock up and shock you all. We'll see. It can be talked into things, so we'll see. Well, that might have been a bit too dark, so I'm just gonna dab it off and then add some more water to my brush. Just try and move that colour a little bit. That's better. Blend it out. Everything can be blended. One of my favourite parts about learning to work in mixed media is there are no mistakes, there are lessons, there are happy accidents, and nothing is unfixable. Because even the worst mistake you could ever make, you've got black paint that can cover it up, and then you can start again. And I know that Nat is very fond of often saying, it is just paint and paper. Nat, it's just I said Nat, my husband thought I said Matt. His name is Matt. It is just paint and paper, so nothing is so dire that cannot be undone, restarted, or thrown out, and just don't show people. They don't have to know. We could do it at the retreat. Oh, Carolyn. Girl, I like the way you think. Oh, I have oh, you have split dye hair. One side of my hair is red and the other is black. Now that I love. That I love. Oh, Carolyn. Ooh, I'm vibing with you. I'm vibing with it. Now, what's this one called? Oh, you know what? It's so dark I can't even read what it says. It's called Umber. This is sort of the only brown I have. I do have other water soluble pigments that I use, but Nat doesn't sell these ones. These are called Neo Colored Twos. I think this is a nicer brown though, so I'm going to go with this one. I don't have, because like I said, I've only got the two big sets. I don't actually have the brown set. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, go a bit darker. Bit darker. So, how many online with me today are coming to the retreat? I'm so looking forward to it. Last year's retreat was literally the highlight of my year. I had so much fun. I was a bit nervous because it was my very first in-person one. I'd done a few virtual retreats at other places prior, but and I've known Naomi for a long time and I traveled with her, so we came together, which definitely helped. But yeah, that's where I met Carolyn for the first time, and everyone, and Sandy. I met Sandy, and I met Susan, and I met Karen. Just so many wonderful people. Delphina, Jackie, getting to meet Nat in person was great. So if you are not coming this year or you have missed out, because I think it's sold out pretty quickly, put it on the bucket list for next year. And if you're a bit nervous, like I was, I've been there, gone through it. Everyone is so supportive and helpful, and we're all there for the right reasons, right? And it was just a beautiful couple of days away, which I loved. All right. Oh, brown was a good choice. Well done. See you there again. Oh, Leanne, you're going to be there. Sandy's coming. Mona's coming. Shirley. And of course, Susan. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. I really am. I need a bit of the holiday after the end of the year that I had, which was not as nice, going through some surgeries and whatnot. All right, now I might come to the umber because I'm interested. Oh, need a bit more water. See what kind of color difference. Oh, you know what? I regret it. I should have used this one. So you can see sometimes when you look at the color of it, so just take the purple, for example, it looks quite dark in the scribble stick, but again, using water, you can control the intensity um, of how it's going to come out on your page. It's nice to have a bit of control. It's also nice in art to sometimes lose control, I think, too. Try and be careful here and stay in the line because that's the tip of a high heel. Let's get some brownness up here. Just in the middle a bit, just over there. And it was actually, it's not the first time I've ever been to Adelaide. I did go once many years ago, but I only really saw like the main city. The Adelaide Hills are just divine. What a beautiful place. So good craft, good company, good place. What more could you ask for, really? Mm-mm-mm. And what I think I'm going to do, just again to bring the colours together, I'm going to go back to my magenta stick. What do I want? A light, a bit lighter, I think. Oh, I went darker. That was silly. Add a bit. Is anybody coming? Shirley, last year was your first too. Oh, amazing. Oh, Deanne, lucky enough to get a cancelled spot a week ago. Well, I'm sorry someone had to cancel, but oh my God. Lucky for you. I'm so glad. Amazing. Oh, you don't live that far from Harndorf. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Harndorf? Just gorgeous. Like, oh my goodness. All right. So, whenever you're working with colour, and I will say, colour theory is not my strong suit. Naomi's colour theory is excellent. You want to avoid putting wet colours on opposite ends of the colour wheel. So, this is our colour wheel. I have to keep it in front of me or I forget. I don't have the greatest memory in the world. But if you put red with green, it will create mud. It'll create brown. If you put colours that are side by side together on the colour wheel, they won't blend to make a brown. So you just kind of have to be a little bit careful when you're doing colour stuff. I don't love the way that came out in the end, so I actually think I might go and blend it back in again. So it's a bit more of a grungy sock looking thing now. There we go. And after all that, I am going to add a bit more purple to her hair because maybe I should have gone as dark as I did the first time. So as you can see, it does dry a little bit lighter as well. So when you put it on, go, oh, that's very dark. Dry, it does dry up. It takes a bit of the intense off. So this is the third layer of purple we're putting here. And now I'm just sort of trying to highlight those curls. So we end up with 3 different shades of purple over the top of each other. And see how it's built that depth up? So now her hair looks like a living thing instead of a stagnant 2D thing on the page. And even more exciting this year for the retreat. I mean, the beautiful Claire Steed is coming all the way from the UK. And last year we had the absolutely energetic, divine Tammy. For those of you who don't know, Tammy from, is it Tambaramba Creations? Oh, you have to follow her on the socials. She is a magnificent woman. And Claire is, I call her my rainbow teacher. Claire actually uses colour very well as well. Just going to put a bit of colour there. Dab that bit off. All right. She's looking okay. I'm happy with that so far. But I am going to go back to blushing now because we've got to do behind her glasses. So what I thought I would do, that's going to be a very purple skin. We don't want that. Wash your brush, Tegan. Wash your brush. Am I going for time? Oh, goodness me. Time flies when you're talking. And you probably notice that every time I look up to read your comments and respond, I stop crafting. So apparently I can't do two things at once. All right, let's get into the doggy. Doggy, doggy, doggy. And I love this brown. We're going to go with the umber. Umber, umber, umber. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, Michelle, you missed out this year. Oh, day passes. That's a good idea. Oh, puppy dog with, see, I've stopped crafting. Puppy dog with separation anxiety. Yeah, one of my dogs has separation anxiety. I'm actually really fortunate because I work from home a couple of days a week, so we can manage it decently. And we do have two dogs, so it's not as severe as other situations I've heard of. But yeah, she had a rough start to life, my poor little titter. So she gets quite anxious when we're away, afraid of storms. We've got a storm coat for her. It's like one of those snug Velcro-y things. It seems to keep her calm, but it doesn't. I think some people think sometimes it's a magic bullet, but it's not. It'll keep her calmer, but she still feels the anxiety. Can't forget his little face. Look at that little face. That little bow tie. He's a proper little gentleman. Proper little dude. Oh, he's got front feet too, Tegan. Oh, keep the tip to my brush a bit nicer. Done that before, miscolouring part of a stamp stuck on my page. I didn't notice for ages. If you ever see me do something like that, call me out. Hey, Tegan, he's got feet. Oh dear. You get in a groove, you get in a groove. Okay. Now, her face is, yeah, pretty dry. So I want to add some colour to her face now. What pink have we got in here? Let's go this one. This one is fuchsia. Wipe up that colour. Let's have a look, see. Oh, well, Michelle, I'm sorry we're going to miss you this year. Have you pitched that idea to Nat Day Passes? Oh, you have to medicate her. Oh, jeez. Planning for next year, Marilyn. Oh, cannot wait. We would be happy, happy, happy to have you there. So I want to just give her a little bit of colour on those cheeks. I don't have enough water on my brush, so it's not spreading as and blending as nice. There we go. That's a bit better. Works out well when you use the tools the way they're supposed to be used. And I'll put a bit of pink on the lips to darken that out. Cool, cool, cool. Happy, happy, happy. I think what I'm also going to do, because her chest area just looks a bit flat, I'm just going to bring some pink into there too, just to create some interest. Not everyone just has perfectly flat skin. That layer looks a bit better. I'm happy with that. And I might touch down the yellows too dark. Get my water, that's better. Just to make her a little bit more dimensional. I love it when the stamps have the shadow lines for you. You don't have to think about it too much. Just follow the lines. There we go. She looks a bit more realistically human now. And there's glasses. I want to do something with the glasses. I'm thinking a reflection. So let's have a play with a reflection. This could end up a total disaster, but let's see how we go. Getting too close to my dog. Might need another piece of paper in a minute. Okay, that's good. So I'm thinking, we look, I don't hate it. Oh yeah, that looks all right actually. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually, once she's all nice and dry and cut out and I'm ready to stick her down, I'm going to come over the top of her with a black gel pen as well, to define the glasses more, to fix up that handy bit. Um, that did not stamp properly. Oh, what am I doing? I'm packing up, but I haven't finished my puppy dog. He needs a jacket. He needs a jacket, and I'd like to compliment. So I think I'm going to go. We need to go in like a darker willowy kind of colour. Oh yes, this one, this one, this one. Peacock, peacock, peacock. No, I had not sure if you'd like it or not. Well, look, yeah, I'm not sure. It'll most likely come down to logistics, I would imagine, just because of how many people you can fit in the room. But hey, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? She says, no, we can't do it. Yeah. Oh, especially when you live so close, that's a shame. Because I've never thought to look into it. Is the every option is a stay and play, I would imagine, with the accommodation part of it. Because I'm, interstate, I've never actually thought about it before. So our little doggo has glasses too. So I'm going to come back with the same sky blue and do the same thing with his glasses. Gives them just a little bit of reflective shine. And the top, very subtle. I want it to be, overwhelming on his face. There he goes. Always a good little boy. Now, I think lapis. We'll do a bit of a contrast for him on his little jacket. And some blue highlights just down the bottom. Again, just layering on top gives it a little bit of an illusion of movement, that it's actually fabric and not just the stamp. There we go. I think I'm really happy with these guys. And I think I'm running out of time. Clock watch for me, sweetheart. All right, let's go back to the journal page. Where'd I put it? Throw it over here somewhere. Okay, okay. Here I was worried that this page, I wouldn't be able to, like I'd do it too fast. But it's all the chatting. It slows me down. I'm not unhappy with that. I love chatting to you ladies. My little family. All right. So I've got a little bit of white space left on this page, which I'm okay with, the white in here. But now it is some time to bring some paint in and of course some stencils. Stencils. Love a good stencil. I love that Michelle's making her own stencils. Michelle, what are you using to make your own stencils with? Um, that's really cool. What a great idea. Alrighty. So when using a stencil, there's different ways you can get your medium through the stencil. I like makeup sponges. These are really cheap sets from Kmart. Just buy a couple of sets at a time. I don't wash them. I just cut the top off exactly like I did just then. Other people use this style, which is, oh, you're going to test me on the brand now, aren't you? Cannot remember. Sorry. Nat does sell them though, with the replaceable pads. I have a love-hate relationship with these. The paint just builds up here for me. And people keep telling me it's because I'm using too much paint, but I'm really not. And it just drives me crazy that it doesn't work. So let's give it another go together, shall we? Now, maybe someone could say, Tegan, this is what you're doing wrong. This is one of Nat's new stencils that came out with her Radelaide Girls. I really, really love this one. But what I'm going to do is, I think we're going to go purple, some kind of purple. Oh, orchid's got to be one of my favourite Dina Wakeler colours. And I've got a clogged nozzle. Do. So if you ever have a clogged nozzle, you can get these really cool. I think this might be Couture Creations, actually. It's called a picking tool. Pop her in, pull her out. It's now covered in paint, so I'm just wipe that off. And Bob's your uncle, we've got paint again. Too easy. Okay, so I just do a tiny little dab. See, not much paint. I give it a swish around on my palette. And then I swish it around with a stencil. Bring it all the way down. It's like purple rays of sunshine. Maybe this side, bit of paint. So when you're doing stenciling, obviously it's important that the stencil does not move. If you're not sure, if you can't see how well the paint's actually gone through the stencil or if it's in the spot you want, leave one hand on, lift it like this. You like it, you don't like it, you can put it straight back down, or I'm happy with that, so I can lift that up. Oh, I'm very happy with that, actually. And you won't have to watch me clean the stencils because I don't clean my stencils. The only time I clean my stencils is if I'm using a thick medium. If you leave things like glazes or pastes or gel medium or modeling paste or anything like that, it will ruin your pencil. So I have to clean them then. Now I'm looking for, I've got 3 folders of Nat stencils and I can never remember which is what and in where. Looking for. Mm, hmm. Oh, I love these beautiful stencils. The season stencil, Amanda. I do always like to add words to my page. A bit of a circle queen. It's not in there. I thought it was. Yes, it is. There it is. See, I know it was. This one is called, actually, I think that one came with one of Claire's classes. Oh, silly Tegan, you've been missing out on chats. Excellent, excellent. I wonder if someone wasn't doing all the days you could take their place. That's a good idea, Sandy. Like I said, Nat doesn't mind questions. Like the worst you can say, no. Absolute worst you can say. Because I think last year there was quite a few people that couldn't come on the Sunday. So they came for the first 2 days and then they didn't come on the Sunday. All right, so now let me show you what it looks like with a makeup brush like this. Now, Art by Marlene does sell more expensive. I just use the cheap Kmart ones. Where if you're going to buy the Art by Marlene ones, do not snip the tip off. Go and wash it out in water as soon as you've used it. They are better quality. And actually, those ones you need to put in water before you use them anyway. Just trying to find the color I want. We've got a lot of purple and a lot of black and white. So I just want to bring another contrasting color in. I'm going to use a bit of mineral. And all of my paints are clogged. I think it is this heat. They never do this to me unless it's been really hot. Because I've got Nat's paint stands, which are fantastic. So with makeup sponge, like I didn't cut that real straight. Ideally, it should be straighter. Put a bit of paint on your palette, smush it in like that. But then what you want to do, and I'll just do it here so you can see, you just want to dab it like this. So you've not got a big spotch of color in the one spot. Otherwise, too much paint can leak under your stencils. And then I just dab like this. Now, I will say this way is longer, and sometimes I have to hold the stencil here, let it dry a bit, and then go back over it, especially when I'm using a softer color like this. That's a real subtle layer in the background, and that's exactly what I wanted. That's why I picked such a light color. A bit more paint, smush, smush, smush. Yeah, I don't want to go over the eye, so I think I'll just do this. So yeah, I mean, the blending tools, that's what they're called. We'll get there eventually. The blending tools definitely are faster. And Claire just goes swish swish and it's done. Swish swish. But this is an alternative if they don't work for you. The other thing is, you can't, you need a few of these if you're using several colors as well. Whereas this, I'll just grab scissors, chop it, go again. But I'm not actually going to chop that one because I'm using a darker color next. So it does not matter. Oh, yeah, I think I'm going to go to one of my old faithfuls. Um, Sandra, what folders do you use for stencils? Oh, absolutely. So these are, that's my name. These are A5 folders, and I get these from Officeworks. They're about $7 to $9 each. They are the perfect size for all Natalie May stencils, almost like they were made to fit in them. They're really, really great. I use them for most of my stencils. Dina Wakley stencils, some of them don't quite fit. So I've got, 2 centimeter overhang at the top on some of them. You can see it probably better that way. But that doesn't bother me because mine sit in a drawer. So they're not standing on a folder or anything. Oh, maybe I want a Dina stencil. No, no, it's it. Yeah, let's use her new one. Um, yeah, so Officeworks is where I get them from. But everyone kept telling me, go to Officeworks, they're there. I could not see them for love nor money. I had to get someone to help me because they are, well, at my particular Officeworks, they were tucked quite high up on a shelf. So I couldn't actually see them. And because they're clear, they sort of didn't stand out. So I'm not going to clean this one off because I'm going from a really light grey colour to a dark black. So it's not going to matter. Whoops, and I just put too much out. It's okay. Too much, too much. So it's not going to bother me because it's not going to bleed through the same way. So for all our newbies, you've probably heard a few people now talk about kind of like the rule of three. Um, the triangle draws the eye in. So if you've got like one or two bits of interest, it's okay. But when you do a triangle or the rule of three, where do I want it? I think go this way. It sort of, it doesn't force, but it moves your eye across the page in a more seamless way. Now, on that note though, there are no rules in mixed media or art journaling. What do you like the look of? That's all that matters. That is all that absolutely matters. What do you like the look of? I break that rule all of the time. Um, all of the time because sometimes I'm like, no, I want four, or I want seven, or I want one. What I've done, I've accidentally put too much paint on my palette next to me. I have always got Nat May tags on hand for when this happens, because it happens to me a lot. And I'm just going to do some stenciling. I don't want to waste the paint that I've put out. And what this does, and I'll show you in a second, might even need to do two. I accidentally put that much out. Thanks, Tegan, because I was talking and not paying attention. Oh, yeah, swishy. Swishy, swishy. Let's use a different color now. This is such a dark blue. I reckon it's going to last on here. Different direction now. Yeah, look how much paint I put out. Like it's too much, Tegan. I overuse glue, I overuse paint, like act like I made the money when I'm not. Might join this one together actually. So this is Dina's new stencil. It's called Rattan because it looks like those old rattan chairs. Love it. So I always have tags on hand for this very purpose. And then I'll just quickly show you. I know I'm running out of time here, ladies. What I've got is a container full of tags. And basically, every tag you see here is because I had some leftover product from another project. What this means is whenever I'm feeling, and what I'll often do is just grab one that's sort of pre-started. So maybe one like that that's only got paint, stencil. And what it means is I've always got a tag if I don't have much time to craft, ready-made background, ready to go. So they will join that pile. Off they go. All right, Tegan, back on track. Matt, time, please. Oh dear. Tegan. Oh dear. Let's go. I want to do a bit of stamping. Alrighty. You were linking in the wrong spots. Oh, that's a good question, Susan. Is anybody going to Claire's class in Queensland? How good's that going to be? All right, I'm going to finish this up quickly now because I'm already over my limit. Naughty Tegan. Well, no, I'm not over. I'm just on, right? I'm just on. So this is our Won't Let You Down stamp from our lovely Natalie May. And I'm just going to do some grungy dots. Mm, like that. And here, get that eye in the focus area. Come down a bit here. Beautiful. And then, so my grey words that I did with the stenciling, a very, very subtle layer in the background. But I always love text. Always just test to make sure the writing's up the right way around. So you can see now I'm not going to use an acrylic block. I'm just going to hold the stamp like this. I'm just going to come in and go a bit grungy down like that. So juicy ink on the stamp here, and then I'm going to layer it down. And as I layer it down, it fades. So it gives a really nice, interesting effect as it fades down the page and off to the side and off the page. Always looks very, very good as well. Okay. Oh no. Oh gee, you know what we're up to, team? Oh dear. Fussy cutting. Yeah, finances. It's tight, isn't it? It's hard. You just can't do everything, right? Just can't do it all. My fussy cutting scissors of choice are the Couture Creations ones. I like the size of the handles. Um, I think the Tim Holtz ones are pretty similar. And for those who fussy cut precisely, look away, I'm going to trigger you because I do not. I go around as decently as I can. I chop bits off. I don't ever worry about going around like individual strands of hair because seriously, my God, nobody has time for that. Well, some people do, but that would just frustrate me. And art is not supposed to be frustrating. I think it's interesting though, for someone like me that doesn't love fussy cutting, I also don't use die cuts a lot when I should, because that would eliminate the need to fussy cut, right? There, round we go. His little pot belly. Oh, she's so cute. He needs a name, everyone. What are we naming that little cutie? All right, there she is. Cutting off the excess before I start trying to fussy cut just makes it a little bit easier. And one of the best tips I ever learned for fussy cutting was actually from Marlene. And she said to me, don't move the scissors, move the paper, because I was absolutely moving the scissors. And she said, no, 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 move the paper, not the scissors. And that has actually helped. Like normally it would take me ages previously to that to cut something like this out. But I think it's also a bit of practice too, right? Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying about the finances, not being able to do everything. We're actually going on a holiday at the end of this year, so you've got to make choices. That bit is in my way now. Kerry, if you're watching, don't look. Kerry's one of our fussy cutting queens. Which is great. I love. She finds it very therapeutic, which I love. So, any of our newbies that are still with us, do you have any questions that I can answer for you? Please pop them in the chat. I'm going to revisit the chat in a second. Looking good. I am going to go up her legs here. Oh, hello, Miss. There we go. These boots fabulous. Wish I had a boots like that. All right. Oh, I beat Sandy to it. Yeah, absolutely. Move the paper, not the scissors. All right, guys. Now I've just put her on, and what I'm feeling like is there's not enough contrast between her and the background. She's blending into that background. Let's fix that. We don't want her to blend into the background. We want her to stand her fabulous self out. So I'm going to just go back to another DNR stencil real quick. I'm going to cut. Oh, makeup sponge. Oh, no, I'm not. Apparently it won't let me. It's always when you're, running out of time, it won't let you do stuff. And I'm going to grab some white paint. Layering on the top with some white paint pushes dark, deep, intense background, pushes it further into the background. It just adds another beautiful contrasting layer. I've gone for a white circle. I'm just going to do 2 layers of that. White is always hard to, I have to build it up over a couple of layers. There we go. So see how it's just giving that a really nice contrast and pushed the intensity into the background. I'm choosing to offset it slightly to the dark, deep blue circles so we can still see them. They're still a prominent layer, but they're not as intense in your face. Better. And see, I'm not going to follow the rule of 3. I'm only doing 2. Alrighty. So before I stick her down, because I know that I want a bit of a border, I'm just going to go for my trusty gel pen. Pretty much, oh, that's right, that pen was dying. Should have just thrown it in the bin. I pretty much do my borders the same way all of the time, right? I do a scratchy line backwards and forwards. Sometimes I use this Stabilo or pen and then use my water pen to go and deepen it up. Oops. And the reason I do this is because, A, again, I'm a bit of a grungy artist, but B, when you're trying to draw a straight line, you're always going to make a mistake, right? But 2 lines that sort of overlap never look like a mistake. They look really intentional and an artistic choice. You love fussy cutting, Queenie. There's more of you. Excellent. I wish I enjoyed it. I really do. Right. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm not going to completely finish this page with you all. I'll add my quote afterwards, but I just had to share this with you. Probably my favorite of all favorite things ever is the Couture Creations double-sided adhesive dots. 2 dots is how I'm going to pop her on there. And 1 little dot for the doggy. Right there. And what that does is it lifts her up off the page a little bit more. And then you can go in with a Stabilo or pencil, which is a water reactive pencil, to give her some shading and some shadowing. But I am going to stop there. I am absolutely out of time. I want to thank you all so much for joining me for Saturday of the Sexy NMX. It is a little bit of a mouthful to get to get around that. Before I sign off, I will post pictures of the finished page afterwards. I'll finish it up now, so you won't be waiting long. Just a reminder, weekend specials, 15% off pattern paper, all on Create, maintain 3/4 designs, 49 on Market and Simple Stories, paper rose and uniquely creative. Check out that clearance section. Oh my goodness. And Christmas. Don't forget about Christmas. Cannot wait to see you all for the rest of the afternoon tomorrow, everyone. And we'll talk more then. Bye.